All right, hello everyone. My name is Sean Patel. I'm the founder of 2400 Expert, and in this video, I'm going to cover a little bit of information about our new SAT prep course in Long Island. And so to just get started, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. Back when I was in high school, I originally scored about average on the SAT myself. I then spent a lot of time studying for this test until I raised my score to a perfect SAT score, which is something that about 0.02% of all students achieve. Now, because of my SAT score, my life completely changed. I was admitted into many prestigious universities. I received $250,000 in scholarships, and I even got to meet the President of the United States. Um, Since getting my perfect SAT score, I've also gone on to start 2400 Expert, in which we teach 6-week SAT courses to help students improve their own SAT scores. I've written #1 best-selling SAT and ACT books on which our courses are founded upon. And I'm also an MD/MBA student at both Yale and USC currently. And so that's a little bit about myself. But the focus of this video is really on our Long Island SAT prep courses. And to start off, I just want to answer probably the most commonly asked question that we get from parents and that is, when should my child start studying for the SAT? The answer to this question is really as soon as possible. Many students wait until their spring of their junior year or fall of their senior year even to start studying for the SAT. And the problem with this is that spring of your junior year is very, very busy, right? You've got AP exams, you've got finals, other activities going on. And then fall of your senior year, you don't leave a lot of time to possibly improve your score, right? Because you're applying to college as well. So those are both very, very busy times in high school to start studying for the SAT. In addition, you miss the PSAT, which occurs or which counts, I guess, only during October of your junior year is when the PSAT is administered. And so you totally miss that if you wait until spring of your junior year or fall of your senior year. And I'll talk a little bit more in a couple of minutes as to why the PSAT is so important. So when should you start? Well, I personally started studying for the SAT my sophomore year in high school. We have a lot of students who are younger who start as young as 7th, 8th, 9th grade, beginning to start studying for the SAT. Now, these students are sort of the exception rather than the rule, but what we do notice about these students is the students that start younger, 9th, 10th grade, typically get the highest SAT scores. They go to the best colleges and they win the most scholarships. So I really tell parents, get your student started as early as possible to make those huge SAT gains, which are going to pay off big time in terms of both college admissions and scholarships. Um, in addition, our course teaches 100 strategies for reading, writing, and math related to the SAT, but we also teach just general SATs or general studying strategies, really. And so, one thing that we always hear from students and parents is that this course helps them do better just in their regular high school classes as well. So there's a lot of benefits to starting earlier than later. Now, our location in Long Island is at Intelligent Office in Uniondale. It's a beautiful office. Really, really glad that we were able to secure this location. Our instructor is Alexandra Miller. She's a rock star. She's really, really good. Scored 99th percentile on SAT herself. Loves teaching students. And so we've got a great instructor, great location. Really, really excited about launching these Long Island new SAT prep courses. I did mention that we talk about the PSAT again. And so the PSAT is important for really one reason, and that's that it can qualify you to become national merit. So national merit is not only a great accolade to have on your college application, but it's also a scholarship worth $2,500. In addition, many universities give half tuition or full tuition scholarships just because you're national merit. So for example, Boston University automatically gives students a half tuition scholarship just because they are national merit. And so that's a scholarship worth about $80,000 to $100,000. So if you think about that, one test, the PSAT, can get you a $100,000 scholarship, right? And pretty much everyone doesn't realize this. In addition, it also happens very early on in high school. It's October of your junior year, prior to when most people have started studying for the SAT. Now, I say SAT because it's really not necessary to study for the PSAT. The PSAT is really just an easier version of the SAT. The PSAT is shorter, it doesn't have an essay, the math is less hard, and so it's actually probably more efficient for you just to study for the SAT. And if you study for the SAT, you'll be over prepared for the PSAT. Now, how high do you need to score to get national merit? Well, it actually depends on the state that you live in and how well students in your state do each year on the PSAT will determine the cutoff to become a national merit finalist. And so New York is a relatively competitive state. So the cutoff for Long Island or New York, the state, will likely be about 1380 out of 1520 this year. Now, this is on the new PSAT. So the new PSAT is out of 1520. The old PSAT used to be out of 240 points. So I estimate it'll be around 1380. So, as you guys are taking our courses, and we actually give you guys some official PSAT exams as well to take, you want to make sure that you're in that 1380 range, and we'll definitely help you get there, obviously. But 1380 range will basically put you comfortably at national merit position for New York. All right. The other thing I want to cover that many people overlook related to the SAT are scholarships, right? So everyone knows that a high SAT score can get you in a great college, but a high SAT score can also win you lots of scholarships. So as I mentioned before, I personally won $250,000 in scholarships when I was in high school. My senior year of high school, I applied for 100 scholarships. I ended up winning 20 of those, and I recognized a pattern. A pattern was that almost all of the scholarships that I won were open to local Las Vegas. I'm from Las Vegas. Open to Las Vegas students or students in Nevada, etc. And they weren't these big national scholarships that everyone applies for. And so I really tell our students, to get the most bang for your buck, apply for local scholarships because you're reducing the applicant pool significantly. Even if you apply to scholarships that are open to just students in your state, you've already reduced the competition by at least 50 times, right? And so, just a quick Google search helped me find a local scholarship for Long Island students. Um, it's one that I found was Public Relations Professionals of Long Island. And now this might seem like an obscure or random scholarship, but that's better, right? You want to go after the scholarships that less people know about because that exponentially increases your chances of winning those scholarships. Finally, why should you take the Long Island SAT course that we're offering in January and February, which is the next courses that we have coming up? The reason that you want to do that is because I believe that students can really, really benefit from this first March administration of the new SAT. Its curve. You can really benefit from the curve of the test. What I mean by that is, this is the first time the new SAT is going to be given out in March 2016. And that means that many students are going to be ill prepared for the test, right? When a test has been around for a long time, students are better prepared because there's more practice tests available, there's more strategies available, etc., right? But for the first time, most students are not going to be prepared. And so the few students that are prepared for the test are going to score exceptionally well on that first curve. And so the reason I know this is because back when I was in high school, the SAT actually changed from the 1600 format to the 2400 format. And I remember students that took that first administration in March of the new 2400 SAT at my high school. And those students that were prepared for it scored really, really well. I remember students getting 2400, 2380, 2320, 2280, like really, really high scores at my high school, all during that first administration. And part of that was because they were ready for that first administration of the test, whereas the rest of the country was not. And so I'm really, really encouraging students to take this first administration of a new SAT in March of 2016 to capitalize on that curve. In addition, January and February to take our 6-week course during that time is probably one of the best times to do it because you're less busy in high school compared to maybe May or June. So a lot of your friends or a lot of your child's friends will be taking the SAT in May or June. But the problem with that is they're going to have AP exams during that time. They're going to have finals at that time. And what I always see is a lot of students don't dedicate enough time to preparing for the SAT during the spring because they've got so many other things going on. And so, what I recommend for students is take the SAT in March, take your AP exams in May, take your finals in June, and that's all your testing, right? Maybe stick an SAT subject exam in there in April or something like that, but uh, or May, I should say, because you're studying for your AP exams at that time. But in any case, I'm really trying to just let people know about the importance of taking this first new SAT in order to benefit from that curve. And we have a 6-week Long Island SAT course that ends just before the March 2016 SAT, so it's the perfect time to take it. All right, well, hopefully we see you guys in our Long Island SAT courses soon, and I wish you all the best of luck in your SAT, college, and scholarship goals.